Not long-tail grass cutting now. So you join us on Monday morning and we are at the unit getting the van packed up, ready for the day. Before we get going, if you watched last week's video, you'll know that Kress kindly sent us some tools. I just want to show you a really cool feature before we get on with the day. So using the Kress app, you can actually manage all of the tools and batteries that you have in your arsenal all in one place. And what we're going to be doing this morning is just allocating the batteries and the tools we are taking to Ash. So you can clock these out in order to track them and also check all the battery percentages. But I just thought I'd show you that feature because I think it's a pretty good feature for people that are running multiple teams that need to keep track of kit, where it is, how many hours it's used, what battery percentage it's on and whether it's charging, etc. I think it's a nice little touch. Anyway, if you can see the board behind us, we've got a busy day ahead of us, so let's get to the first site. And we are on site. I've had a quick run round and look at the hedging and it's not too bad. We also need to get the Linemarking done here today, and luckily there's not a ridiculous amount of frost on the grass at all really, so we'll be able to jump straight on with that. But I'm going to be trying the Kress commercial hedge cutter for the first time, so we shall see how we get on with that. And it is freezing today, so it'll be good to see how the cold weather affects the batteries. So I've used it for a little while now and I thought I would just check the efficiency and how much battery it has left to know how much usage we've got out of the tools. And I'm fairly impressed considering they charge in 8 minutes. But anyway, it's now Ash's first turn on the Kress hedge cutter.
Yeah, I like it. All you need to do is get used to the weight with the battery. Yeah.
Right, hedge work is literally all done now. We didn't have a lot to do, it was just run around and check any wispy bits, to be fair. We've kept on top of it over the winter. Gonna go back to the field now, make sure Rob's getting all right with the line marking, and then we can move to the next one. Absolutely freezing today. It is cold, like probably, I don't know, minus something or other, but anyway, we got collared by someone that works in the school that's a referee in the local area and knows the boys at Cutcrew. But anyway, yeah, so we're going to go check up on Rob for the line marking. I've already said that. I was talking about how cold it was, wasn't I? Yeah. Oh, it's cold. All right, let's see how the line mark is going. Rob's been cracking on with it round the back. We've just got 2 sets of grids and 2 handballs to complete now. We're over at the next job. The lads are just getting the flail out of the van. We've basically got this rough area here at the edge of the pitches that runs all the way down at this client's, and we're going to flail it back for them and then keep on top of it for this season. It probably won't turn to grass, but it will give them a little bit of extra room. So any pitches that are tight up against the edge, there'll be more space for players. So we should gain around 2 to 4 metres, depending on the area of the pitch, the whole way around the outside, which can obviously be utilised for storing goals and stuff like that. But anyway, let's get the flail out and get cracking with it. So we get the flail out of the van and we start heading over to the work area, but we quickly realise that the flail isn't feeling it this morning and it doesn't seem to be spinning up as well as it normally does. Perhaps it's the cold or not. But anyway, I tell you what hasn't let us down is the Kress strimmer. So Rob starts cracking on, getting some of the overgrowth done with the strimmer. Oh dear. The flail doesn't seem to be spinning up as quick as it normally does, and it's not cutting at all. So we're going to whip the covers off of it and check the belts, see if it needs tensioning or whatever, and we will report back.
A few moments later.
Right, problem solved. We've took all the covers off of it, given it a good blowout and clean out. The only suspect thing we could find on it was a bit of low oil, but that doesn't affect the flail itself, that's just the steering. So we'll have to top that up when we get back to the unit. But I think it's just the cold weather has changed the viscosity of the oil, because we've left it running now and let it warm up for a good 15-20 minutes, and then all of a sudden it just kicked in. So I think the transfer case that runs the flail was just cold. The oil's now warm and now it's working perfectly. So we'll get it back together and get it back to work. So with the flail back in business, we can start trying to get these edges all tidied so we can get back into the warm as soon as possible. But as you can see, we've got a little area here, but out the back it widens up, and we're just doing a little dance as we go to keep warm. Knees up.
Here's Jack, finally doing some work.
Yes, thanks for that, Ash. I will remember it. Anyway, let's just crack on and get going. And after that comment, I think it's about time that Ash had to go on the flail, don't you think? Anyway, we're cracking on with it now. The wide area at the back's done. All we've got to do is clear it of debris and rubbish. People are absolute pigs, aren't they? Get rid of all the sticks and stones, because next time we mow this, we'll be with our mowers. And Ash is so cold, he's running back to the van. Right, we are all sorted on the way back to the van to get packed up and into the warm. We've got a quote to go to on the way back to the unit, and I also need to grab a oil filter for the Ranger, because I didn't think that needed doing, but jumped in it over the weekend and it's saying that it needs a service, which is a bit annoying because we could have done it with all the other kit. But it is what it is, keeps us busy, and at least we'll be in the warm and dry on this very cold day. So we get ourselves back to the van, get all the kit packed away in order for us to travel to the quote. And once we've done the quote, we can get back to the unit, get all of the kits out of the van and start servicing the Ranger and topping that up, ready for tomorrow. Job done. It's Tuesday morning. We had a bit of a lay-in this morning because we're out line marking today and we want the frost to disappear before we line mark. But anyway, we're at the unit and we have got our paint delivery from Fleet. So Sam, the Fleet delivery driver, turns up at the yard, and the first thing to do is whack a coffee on for him. It's been a long day for him. And then he gets rid of our old paint container that is now empty and replaces it with a nice new one, 500 litres of fresh paint. So, a big shout out to Fleet Paints. They always look after us, and their details will be in the description. After the fantastic delivery from Fleet, we are now on site. Now, due to the flooding that we had recently, we've got 2 pitches that we need to string out and basically do an initial mark out on. So we're going to do them first, and then on this site we've then got another 5 to overmark, and we're also going to be putting in an extra pitch in blue within a pitch. So we'll get the kit out and get cracking with it. So now that we've done the white initial and all 5 pitches are overmarked, we've now got to put a blue 7v7 within this 9v9 pitch. So first thing we're going to do is measure out the length of the current white pitch and make sure you write that number down. We then do the same for the horizontal measurement and also write that number down. We now need to calculate where our blue pitch is going to sit. So we take our current white pitch length, which is 68 metres, and we subtract the new blue pitch length, which is 55 metres, which gives us the difference of 13 metres. But we want an equal space either side, so we divide that number by 2, which gives us 6.5 metres, and that will be the distance from each goal line either end. And from the distance from each sideline, you use the same method. So we're now going to get our stake in the ground, which is 6.5 metres from the goal line and 1.5 from the sideline. And we're going to do this on all 4 corners so it's nice and equal throughout. We can now run our string line, keeping it nice and tight around all 4 perimeter stakes, and that will give us our outline. So with the whole perimeter now stringed off, we can just check the lines, make sure they're nice and tight, and wrap that off ready to mark. So one of us jumps straight on the trike and we get the perimeter outline all marked up, leaving the corners for when we remove the stakes. We now need to do the large box. So we take the large box width and take that away from the current pitch width, divide that number by 2, and that gives us 10.5. We measure out 10.5 from each side for our box lines. We do that both sides of the pitch and string a string line out to both. We then mark on the floor the box height so I know where to turn the trike off on each side. I then get all the boxes painted and we measure out the penalty markers and get them painted also. And with the halfway line, the way we've calculated it, the halfway line marries up with the current white one. So we can just run a blue one adjacent to it. Job done. And hopefully that gave you a good insight on how to mark out a blue pitch, nice and symmetrical inside a white pitch. Anyway, you know those minutes where you're trying to save like a couple of minutes by not opening the gate and you think, oh yeah, I can make it over that. Yeah. it was me driving as well, so we're trying everything in our arsenal to get the van unstuck. What an idiot I am. Please roast me in the comments.
As you can see, Jack the numbnuts got us in this mess, but also got us out. Happy days.
Okay, so some funny tales of us trying to get the van out. We were trying to look for something that we could put some pressure on for the bottom of the jack to spread the pressure, and about 25 minutes in, Rob went, "What about a concrete pad?" And we were like, "Well, yeah, obviously." And he's like, "Oh, there's one round the corner." Proper nil from in-betweeners moment. But anyway, moral of the story is, if you haven't got the code for a gate, don't attempt to shortcut, because it will cause you time. So now what we're going to do is fill up the waters as quickly as possible and try and get this done, because yeah, I've wasted a lot of time today. Proper ADHD moment. What an idiot. Anyway, so that last site where I got the van stuck, we managed to complete. We've now jumped over to the last site of the day, where we quickly got the trike out, and I'm now on my way to do one of the blue pitches, as we've already got blue on the trike. So I'll get this done, and then we've got 3 whites to do. If I wasn't such an idiot, we wouldn't be rushing. So I get the blue pitch done, and Ashley has a fight with the blue when he changes over to the white. But we can now get the white pitches done. So I jump straight onto the trike to go do the first of 3 white pitches. And once my one is done, Ash takes charge to finish the other 2 off. And with Ash now on the last pitch, it seems that we've turned a bad situation into an okay one, I guess. Oh God. So Ash is just on the last pitch now, so we've managed to do them well within sunlight, which is good news. Put a bit of pressure on us for my mistake, but these things happen, and I'm just glad that we thought about it tactically and reasonably to get out of the situation. But anyway, tomorrow we are destined for about -4 even throughout the day, so I'm going to be on an admin day sorting out loads of paperwork, and we've also got a guest coming down, but more news on that tomorrow. So the boys aren't going to be in work tomorrow. It's literally pointless coming in. We've done all of our maintenance tasks, and the unit is all ship shape and square. So yeah, now got to get back to the unit. I've got a meeting tonight that hopefully I am not late for. I need to rush home, have a shower and get dressed for that. But I'll see you in the morning, and you'll get to see who the guest is coming down to see us. And you now join us on Thursday. So yesterday Ash wasn't in work. I was just in doing some admin stuff and grabbing some loose ends. But we had Jack Davies come down and visit us. And today is Thursday, and we are heading up to Lamma at Birmingham NEC to go look at the show. So we have made it to Birmingham, and we are at the entrance of Lamma. Lamma is the biggest UK agricultural show, and we've come to Lamma 2024 today to have a little look around. Now you might be wondering, why is a grounds maintenance company coming to an agricultural show? Well, let's show you. So yes, it is an agricultural show. However, both of our industries directly intertwine, such as this Valtra with a forestry kit on it. I mean, look at it. But all jokes aside, we can start using the innovations from the agricultural market and start using it in grounds maintenance to create efficiency. And look how much cool kit there is here. And not only is there loads of cool kit, but there's also future suppliers that we can build relationships with as our business grows to use as our kit gets bigger. So as we're walking around and me and Ash are absolutely in our element, we start noticing suppliers that are already well known in our industry. So maybe my idea of our industries being closer together than we all thought isn't such a crazy one after all. Look at all of this equipment that most of us will have known or use daily. And not only that, we can catch up with suppliers that we already use, such as CHC Nav. These guys are awesome, and it was great to finally meet them. I always find exhibitions are a great way to create contacts, either for the operations that you've currently got or for growth in the future. Maybe it could be a yellow one, or an orange one, and I know that George Brown's can sort me out an orange one. But anyway, as I said, there's loads of kit here that we all recognise. Flails, mowers, side cutters, small tractors, all from brands that we already recognise. So perhaps next year you can come up and take a look and let us know if you're going to be there, and we'll probably see you there again. But anyway, after seeing all the kit that relates to our industry, there's still some time for dreaming, eh? And I guess it's okay for all of us to dream, isn't it? Anyway, it is Friday morning. We are in the yard. The lads are currently getting everything on the trailer ready for the day. Now, we've got a few sports pitches that do need cutting. However, we've been unable to due to weather, etc. We're hoping that it thaws out today, and then we've got a good 7 days run of good weather. So we're going to load the kit up anyway and get to the site. But also today, I am out in the tractor and I'm going to attempt some verti-draining. Again, it's a bit of a catch-22. I'm going to have to go down to the sites and check the condition of the pitches before I start. But yeah, let's see where today takes us. And I am down on site with the tractor and the verti-drainer. Now, it's still mega frosty on site, so I'm probably going to have to wait for it to thaw out a bit. However, I've just done a test piece off of the pitches with the verti-drain, and the ground isn't too hard to verti-drain, so it's just like the frost element we got to be careful with this morning. The temperature is rapidly rising, so I'm probably gonna have to wait out about an hour, but as you can see, the sun is up behind me, so it should start thawing out quite nicely. The boys are at one of the schools. I've just been on the phone with them. They're also having a big predicament. However, I'm sure we can jump to their footage to see how they're getting on. So the lads are over at a school and they're meant to be mowing and cutting it today because it's really long and they rent the field out for football games. However, I don't think it's going to be safe for us to mow it. Ash is just running up and down without the blades on to see how the ground is. But it's just too frosty over here. So we're going to let the facilities manager know that we will be back next week when the temperatures have risen to get this grass cut and line marked. So the lads get all of the kit back onto the trailer and unfortunately move to the next one. So whilst I'm waiting for the ground to thaw out, I'm probably going to go and grab a haircut. Might as well whilst I can. And then hopefully we can get some verti-draining done today, because next week we're going to be flat out with it as well. And we've got a lot of pitches that we need to get done, and we all know how long it takes. So the lads are now over at the next job and they do exactly the same. They get the mower off to test the ground. Okay, so the grass is starting to thaw out really well. There's still a bit of glistening on the ground, as you can see. However, temperatures tonight are not freezing, and the temperatures for the next like 8 days here are above 8 to 10. So we need to try and get these done, otherwise we're just going to keep having waterlogging issues. So unfortunately we're going to have to risk it. As bad as it sounds, this client isn't like an elite level football pitch, so we don't have to worry too much as long as the grass doesn't completely die, but I'm extremely confident that it won't. If you can see behind me, we've got the CHC navigation system running. We met those guys over at Lamma yesterday, and we've also downloaded a couple of beta software updates for it, so we've got a lot more new features, but I'm sure we'll show you that in the summer. But there's some really cool features on this now, and I'm extremely excited to start grass cutting with them. You know the score with verti-draining, low and slow, very boring work. For anyone that's done it before will know my pain. So we'll get these done and update you later on.
A few moments later.
Okay, I've had a little bit of a nightmare. So the top link for the verti-drainer has either one, broken, or two, the catch wasn't put back properly and it's unwound itself. So at the minute the verti-drainer is literally sat leaning back. Now luckily Ash isn't too far away from me at the minute, so he's going to leave Rob on site continuing what they were doing, and we're going to try and drop the verti-drainer onto the back of the trailer to take the weight so I can adjust the top link and see if it's still working. But if that doesn't work, he's going to have to fly back to the unit and get the stand for the verti-drainer, but we've got to at least try. Let's show you what's up with it. So this is the top link on the tractor, and it adjusts to the pitch of the implement on the back. And as you can see, something's either very broken or it's unwound itself because it's sat like that. So as you can see, it's proper on the wonka donk, and when you drop that in, the tines just aren't sitting right at all. So I'm hoping this back bit here we can prop on the trailer, drop that down, try and level the verti-drainer out, fix that top link, and hopefully we'll be back in business. If not, we've always got George Brown's, which is about 20 minutes away, where we can go purchase a new top link. But absolute nightmare. But luckily when Ash got the distress signal, he was straight over and we could get the Verti-drainer propped onto the back of the trailer, no problem. So let's try and fix it now. When a hero comes my way. And just like that, we're back in business. I'm so thankful that the boys were just round the corner. So lessons learned, always carry the stand on the top and probably ratchet strap it to the top of the Verti-drainer so I've got it to hand if I'm on my own. As you can see behind me, the grass has thawed out absolutely lovely now and the temperatures are rapidly rising. So that's another weight off of my mind. So let's try and get this Verti-draining done. After this pitch, we've got another 2 pitches. But I am over halfway. So for those of you that don't know what Verti-draining is, you probably haven't watched our channel before, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. But it's basically a large aeration machine where we're going to a depth of around 150mm to 200mm to give nutrients and air straight to the root system to create a healthier leaf. And not only that, it's going to help alleviate any waterlogging issues that any of our clubs have on a daily. Aside from regular mowing, it's one of the best treatments you can do for a football pitch, just to keep it playable and in top condition. But anyway, as I'm doing that, the boys are now here and Robbie's going to mow all of the outfield. Not the pitches, just the outfield today, ready for when we bring the Trimax over. And whilst he's doing that, I'm watching a steering wheel. Right, there we have it. So the boys have been back over since Ash rescued me earlier and they've done all the line marking here at this site. Managed to Verti-drain the cricket square as well today, and the boys are just pitting the rope around the cricket square back and then they are off back to the unit. On the way back to the unit, they've got 1 football pitch that they got a line mark. I've still got 2 pitches left and you've literally just watched me start the first pitch. So I've still got a good 4 hours here and it's 2 o'clock. So it's going to be a late one. But anyway, let's get this done and see what shenanigans happen. So at this point, the boys have left me and they're at their last site that needs line marking, getting all of the games ready for tomorrow morning. They're cracking on with it really well, and once they've done this, they can get back to the unit to get all of the kit ready for tomorrow's work. Right, we're getting on with it now. I've got 2 more lengths of this football pitch, then I'm on to my last one, and it is currently 4 o'clock, so I've probably still got another 2.5 hours, so it's definitely going to be dark by the time I get done. The lads should be back at the unit by now and they are working to tomorrow, but I'm not with them tomorrow because I am out Verti-draining. But let's take a little look at what we've got coming up next week. So we're going to have more maintenance in schools, making use of the new Kress kit, more Verti-draining, and we're also heading up to Harrogate to BTME. So make sure you don't miss next week's video. Thank you again so much for watching this one. There will be a podcast dropping next week as well. I believe it's dropping Wednesday, so make sure you watch that also. It will be out on Spotify and it's being released on Spotify early from Monday, so there'll be a link in the description for that should you want to listen to it early. But yeah, thank you again for everyone that's watched this video. If you're not subscribed, smash that subscribe button. Let us know in the comments what you think of this video. Click that like button, it helps us out massively, but we'll see you in the next one. So that's what happens when you use your phone as a torch and leave it on the Verti-drain. Unbelievable.